What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders for Tuesday, January 19th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock. Keep your eyes peeled around like 8 p.m. That's when I'll be doing my personal updates. Only a 2-gamer tonight, which is manageable, I guess. Finally, let me know in the comment section who are your favorite plays on DraftKings for tonight's slate. We're kicking off the bottom of my top 10 with Steven Adams, Darius Bazley, Rudy Gobert, Gary Harris, and Zion Williamson coming in number 6. Who will be the favorites, the top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. First up, coming in number 5, actually my number 1 contender on FanDuel. Spoiler alert, you can find that video somewhere around here on this channel. Point guard eligibility, 8,700, projected for 41.5 in the optimal lineup, 42% of the time. Big minutes, you're getting 35, could be even slightly more. 26% usage, well above his normal rates. He's at a different level this season. 21.5, 7 and 5 as a baseline projection. Tough spot against Denver. Denver's defense isn't all that great, but it is a mild pace down spot for Oklahoma City. But you're getting SHAI Gilgeous-ALEXANDER as like a 1.2 fantasy point per minute guy, 8,700. There's some real ceiling here, and that's why you're seeing him hit the 42% number. I would have loved to see dual eligibility. If he were point guard, shooting guard, I think you see him higher in the ranks. To just be point guard on this particular slate, I don't even know what a slate is. On this particular slate is kind of difficult. The functionality is a little harder. So you're going to see as we work our way up, having MPEs is a big time bonus. So SHAI is at 5, still love him. We got 4 more to go. Next up at number 4, it's just someone that's a little bit easier to fit in. Same only point guard eligibility, 7,300 though for Jamal Murray, projected for 36. The goal is 47. He's in the optimal just a hair more than SHAI Gilgeous-ALEXANDER. And you're getting sort of the same thing, 35 minutes, 26% usage, similar scoring, just a few less assists. Jamal Murray doing a little bit less facilitation this year than he has in previous years. It appears that it's all going to NIKOLA Jokic. Slight 0.8 possessions more than their normal average, so it's basically a neutral pace game for Denver. When push comes to shove, it's just easier to fit Jamal Murray into your lineup than SHAI Gilgeous-ALEXANDER because 7,300 is a price tag that doesn't really fit. I think he should be slightly higher than that, and that's why you're seeing him just crest over SHAI. He's easier to get to. If you end up having additional money, great. I think the ceiling is a little bit higher on SHAI given his role, but for now, Jamal Murray makes your lineup work just a little bit better. Now we get some value. Number 3, Isaiah Roby, power forward center eligibility. Obviously a huge piece to a 2-game slate. 4,100, 23.5 fantasy point projection. He's in the optimal lineup. A coin flip, 51% of the time. I'm giving him 28 minutes, 18% usage. That's 11 and 6. It's nothing crazy. I'm expecting Roby and Mike Muscala to split the center time. In the last game that they played, Roby was on pace to play 28 minutes. He happened to foul out with a couple minutes left in the game, so Muscala came in. They also had additional time for the overtime, so I think it looks a little skewed just in the box score, but they were closing with Isaiah Roby. So that puts Isaiah Roby on a 28-minute path, Mike Muscala on a 20-minute path, and if that's the case, 4,100 for a guy with dual eligibility, forward and center, on just a 2-game slate, really difficult to get away from. You're hoping that he doesn't pick up too many fouls. Obviously, guarding NIKOLA Jokic is not going to be helpful at all in that aspect. Fouls are probably going to be abundant. You need 28 minutes, but you're okay if Roby only gets to 24. The value will be there. This is a perfect spot for Roby. As long as Al Horford remains out, he is going to be viable, especially with that MPE. So get yourself some Isaiah Roby. This is why Jamal Murray and SHAI Gilgeous-ALEXANDER are a little bit further down. Number 2, Donovan Mitchell, 8,200, but he has point guard and shooting guard eligibility, and for some reason, those other 2 guys don't. It's silly, I know, but that allows Donovan Mitchell to show up in optimal lineups more often. Anytime that you have the ability to be in more spots, you should be in the optimal more frequently. 41-point fantasy projection, 50-point GPP goal, and he's in the optimal lineup 51% of the time. You're getting sort of the same game that Jamal Murray is going to put out there. 36 minutes, massively increased usage, though. Similar lack of facilitation. Like, he gets to 5 assists. That's nice, but not really as much as you would think for someone that's dominating the ball as much. you're just hoping for a lot of Donovan Mitchell scoring, but when push comes to shove, you're rostering Donovan Mitchell because he works at point guard and he works at shooting guard, and those two guys are only in at point guard. So you're sifting through three super similar guys at the point guard spot, and then when all of that exposure is filled up, those guys don't get to show up at shooting guard, but Donovan Mitchell has a full other source of exposure. So that is enough to put Donovan Mitchell in the 2 spot, not enough to get him to number 1. Now, before we hit on my number 1 contender, one last reminder, please hit that thumbs up. It helps tremendously. Let me know in the comment section who your favorite plays are today. And follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. That's the big one. The only place that you can get my updates are on Twitter at Josh Engleman or in our premium Slack. So head to awesemo.com/join to sign up and see what we have to offer in our premium Slack. And finally, the number 1 contender on the slate, center eligibility, $11,000, 55-point fantasy projection for Nikola Jokic. The raw point ceiling on a 2-gamer is too much to ignore. I think you're going to need him pretty frequently, 55% of the time. In fact, 35 minutes, 30% usage, 26, we'll round up to 12, 7.5 assists. This guy is doing everything. He's basically Russell Westbrook, but efficiently and a center. It's insane. I love seeing it. I guess maybe Luka's probably a better comp in this story, but that's neither here nor there. 1.57 fantasy points per minute in this game. I love this spot. Oklahoma City not having Al Horford for this one, real problematic. Jokic should smash. They don't really have anybody that can slow him down. He will be able to do whatever he wants. Only thing that makes me a little nervous, I feel like sometimes in these spots he tries to facilitate too more and get everybody involved. Just shoot the rock, Nikola Jokic. Just shoot the rock. You're going to dominate this one, I promise you. He is the clear top play on the slate. The raw point ceiling is hard to ignore. Only center eligible, which is not ideal, but he shouldn't have any other eligibility anyway. You just want these points. Nikola Jokic, the number 1 contender. Alrighty, guys, that will do it. Thank you for joining me here for the NBA DFS contenders on Tuesday, January 19th. Only a 2-gamer tonight. Keep your eyes peeled for my updates, and I will be back again tomorrow morning with another edition of the contenders. Good luck.